parents trying to swindle their way back in to their kids' life. What the fuck? And I mean swindle. And I'm like, come on through, Cookie. I'm going up on my soapbox. That's basically it. Let's talk about drag in all its forms. What, Cookie? Hey guys, thanks for clicking on the video. This is Real Housewives of Atlanta, Season 9, Episode 3. Y'all know I be off and on with Kandi and shit. But I'm all Team Kandi on this goddamn episode. There some shit I just can't get down with. This whole episode, there was this whole little situation. We start right off, and I'm just going to go right into the Kandi stuff. Chris Kelly, which is this Jamaican artist who happens to be signed with Riley's father, who undoubtedly his name is Block. Okay? We know from all this time, we ain't seen of Kandi's sperm donor. We ain't seen no shit about him. We ain't paid attention to no shit about him. He not part of Riley's life. He not part of the show. He not part of a motherfucking thing. And then here comes this bitch, this Chris Kelly, whoever she is. She's his little girlfriend or whatever. She just pops up at Kandi's little place. And here you are wanting to have a conversation with her about her daughter and his relationship. First of all, we wouldn't have been having that conversation because, bitch, what do you have to do with it? You're his girlfriend. You're not his wife. Y'all haven't gotten married or anything like that. Bitch, what you need to be doing is getting out of my face and getting out of my daughter's business. That's what you need to be doing. Because Riley's like a teenager now. You need to get the fuck on up out of our business. That's what you need to do. But Kandi handled her really, really nicely, with kid gloves. I knew some shit was going on because we didn't know who the fuck the bitch was. Todd knew who she was because Todd got Todd's a bitch in his own right. Todd got an instant attitude when that bitch showed up in the room. Todd motherfucking exited stage left. They was in the middle of a meeting. Todd got right the fuck up and gave wasn't nice to her or nothing. He wasn't welcoming or nothing. She said, I didn't want to take your seat. He said, I got up so you could have it. I was like, damn, well, who is this? Then she said who she was. So we got this whole piece. I'm like, all right, so just kind of see what's going on a little bit. So toward the end of the episode, there was Kandi's friend Lena. Remember, we've seen her for the first time in the first episode. I was wondering what her significance was. But we've seen her. She's actually the girlfriend of RL, the singer RL. And him and Chris Kelly are supposed to be doing some type of a collaboration. And we see Block. And they're talking. His conversation ain't even right. And Lena wasn't letting him make it because they're steadily going over the whole little situation. And that motherfucking Chris Kelly, her whole conversation was there. I said, is this bitch backpedaling and pussy popping? Because she truly sat her ass right there and said, they just excluded him from the whole thing. They? Who the fuck is they? Who's they? Everybody made it very clear that he made promises that he didn't make good on. He told the child he was going to come around, and he did not come around, which eventually the child stopped even accepting that I'm going to come around and said, fuck it. So many black children, I don't know about white children, I'm sure they've had it too, but I know black children from broken homes where the father is not present, they go through that shit where the father said, I'm going to come, and the kid is sitting, waiting, and that fucking parent doesn't show up. And that's a very hurtful thing for a child. Very hurtful. And it's not only hurtful for that child, it's hurtful for that other parent that's actually involved with the child and have to deal with the child and the downfall after you don't show your motherfucking ass up. Okay, so this is what we got from Kandi this episode. Then Kandi ends up being out with Shereé, and you know Kandi cries. That's what she did. But the bitch was all on with what she should. She deserved every tear she fucking dropped on this one. I felt her, bitch. I've been there. I understand. She's madder than a motherfucker. Mad as hell. And then they try to paint her up to be the motherfucking bad guy. And I ain't liking it at all. So this is just one episode of this shit. And it's going to go forward. There's going to be some more of this. Well, I can tell you that Chris Kelly and that motherfucking Block, I'm not feeling them two blockhead motherfuckers at all with the bullshit. And Riley already said, hey, I don't really want to be bothered. You know? Kandi ain't did nothing wrong, in my opinion. With nothing that she doing with this episode, I was all right with her crying. I was all right with her being mean. I was all right with everything Kandi did. Fuck that motherfucker here. And that blockhead motherfucking girlfriend with her half non-talking ass. Fuck that bitch. Anyway, moving on. Okay, did I just soapbox? Yeah, I don't like them people. I don't care for them. And that was some... Why is he here, Ike? Why are they here? I just didn't get it. Why are they even being introduced into the fold? Fuck them. Anyway, I think they just going to bring some drama and strife to Riley's life that she just don't need at this time. Fuck all that shit. Anyway, did I say I was done with that? Okay, fucking done with that. Yeah, that Lena wasn't letting that motherfucker make it either. It's like, did you pay child support, motherfucker? Did you support when you were supposed to? Even try to lean into, well, I was doing what I was. No, you weren't. You're lying, motherfucker. You're lying. Because when you were so specific about other shit and dates and shit, just said something about support, you ain't said a motherfucking thing. Get out of here. Anyway, moving on. Okay, so then we got Bob and Shereé. They still playing with each other, carrying on. Why the fuck was Bob sweating like that? Big black motherfucker. He was sweating and carrying on. I said, he don't look like a piece of black ass licorice, honey. Just as wet and shiny, honey. I said, oh, jeez. And he asking her, I said, she ain't gonna give you no sex or nothing. You all sweaty and shit. Oh, what are you, nervous or something, you big bitch? But he talking to Shereé, invited her over to his house, and just up to no damn good. And then he asked her about moving in the Chateau Shereé. Keep your place, dude. Anyway, moving on. We seen the Bailey family get together, and we found out basically, we not going to go through all that. Mallory fucking talks to Peter now. And Cynthia didn't know that Mallory was talking to Peter. And he's basically telling Mal, you know, he misses Cynthia and this, that, and the other. Whatever. Peter, it's over. Go on, sign the papers and go about your business. Yeah, the fuck on. That shit's over. It's over. Period. Let's see. Phaedra and Porsha. Yeah, let's talk about this shit. Goofy ass Porsha. She been dating some guy named Todd. She used to date him back in the day. They used to fuck. And then they broke up. So now she's been fucking playing around with him again. And Goofball decides, oh, I can have a baby with him. I don't need to be in a relationship with him, but I'll just get his sperm and have a baby with him. And he already got some kids. That motherfucker declined. He was like, huh? And he just wasn't really feeling all that. I didn't get it. Porsha, girl, if you try to search for a storyline, it's always something that don't look good. You just look like an idiot yet again. Then she had a sit down with her, Phaedra, and Shereé. This whole conversation, I was like, what the hell kind of conversation is this shit? In the conversation, they're sitting talking basically about just different things, Kenyan for the most part. And they start talking about Kenya and they start talking about Matt. Before they start talking about them, they were talking about camel toes. Kenya and Phaedra have a very strange sense of humor. They're very slutty, the two of them. And they were talking about camel toes, and I was like, who thinks that a camel toe is cute? Camel toes are ugly. Like, that is so ugly. Like, who wants to look at a fat, swollen pussy? It's ugly. And it looks like, when you see a woman with a camel toe, it looks like a ball of sweat and vaginal discharge is what it looks like if you push on it. That's the scent that would come out of it. Like, you know, that scratch and sniff? That's what it looks like. Sweat and vaginal discharge. I just didn't get it. And they're like, yeah, girl, camel toes is coming back. Camel toes were never fashionable, and that is ridiculous. And y'all need to go somewhere and sit down. And none you two nasty whores, y'all probably don't even have camel toes. Y'all probably got moose knuckles. Just horrible. Anyway. And Shereé, she didn't get it. You know, her ass was like, is a camel toe a good thing? No, Shereé, it's not. Don't listen to them. Anyway, they moved from that, and then they started talking about Matt, and they literally had a little conversation about whether or not Matt had a small dick or not. And I got kind of tickled with that because I don't believe that he does. Not as stupid as Kenya be acting. I don't believe that he does, but yeah, whatever. He's cockeyed as hell. That's the only thing that we know for sure, honey. He's cockeyed, his eyes are too close together, honey. Spooky. Speaking of Matt, we got Matt and Kenya. Kenya was taken to see Matt's family. She got to meet the family at the family reunion. Big mistake. You know, she started off fussing because she didn't want to ride in the car. Not to blame her. They went all the way to Cincinnati. 8 hours in the car. And when they got there, I was like, fuck him and fuck his family. These country ass bumpkins, do you hear me? I looked at his mother. His mother is over there and she is giving you a Soul Train flashback, honey. She had Florida Evans' hairdo, honey, from Good Times, honey. Had her little afro with the little gray in it and everything, honey, and was talking plenty of shit. I was like, and then the sister had like the very early 80s black girl short haircut, honey, where it wasn't real blended real good, honey. I was like, girl, you need some more cut down, honey. That's, you know how somebody get a shortcut, but I want it short, but I don't want it real short. So they got like it's one length, it's about this long. All of this is that long, and don't nothing lay down unless you got hair exactly like Toni Braxton's. That's the kind of hair his sister had. It looked ridiculous. And it had very much that I did it myself look. Ain't been nowhere near a salon, honey. And she gonna give Kenya some issues. Kenya's sitting up in there. Naturally, Kenya's overdressed. Kenya's looking movie star-esque. And they're looking bumpkin-esque. And they questioned her. That sister just went too goddamn far for me. She literally busted out her mouth and asked Kenya, well, do you think you're a cougar? How rude is that? Like, that was rude. And I don't even do Kenya. But them people didn't treat her nice. They really didn't. They didn't treat her nice. And they got on my motherfucking nerves. That sister was enough to not even fuck with Matt no more. Like, what'd you tell this bitch about me, you know? And she was all in it. And she was just real down on Kenya, like she wasn't approving of their shit, and like Kenya had to win her over. Kenya ain't got to win you over, bitch. Your brother is broke. He ain't bringing a motherfucking thing to the table. That's why I said it's probably some big dick. Because other than that, I don't see anything that Matt is bringing to the table, especially not to be going through this bullshit. The mother was on, well, what do you want with my baby? This, that, and the other. Really, ma'am, I don't want him, honey. I really don't. They got on my nerves. The father was cool. Then the sister really went too far at the actual they went to lunch. Then they did all that at the reunion. She gonna pull her aside and want to have a whole conversation. I had enough of them. His family got on my nerves, and I would have gave him back to them then. Like, fuck this. I don't have time for this. I'm going to fly home, and God bless y'all, honey. Fuck all y'all. A mess. It was an interesting episode. That's basically all that really went on. God knows that's enough. That's enough. It was a bit much. Quite a bit much. All right. Stay tuned for next week, honey. Stay tuned for next week. There's going to be some shit that goes down, honey, between Shereé, Kandi, and Kenya. If you haven't watched it, go and look at my Real Housewives of Atlanta extra that I put out there, and you'll see what I'm talking about. Y'all know I hate to jump ahead, but yeah, go look at the extra, and you'll see what I'm talking about, and we'll discuss it next week. All right, y'all. Later. Bye.